Tattve Sadalino Ramakrishna Samagaya Yo Dharma Sthapanarato Videsham Tam Namamyaham Videsham Tam Namamyaham. At the outset, I'd like to thank this Sri Venkateshwara Temple Authority for giving me an opportunity. I thank Mr. Ramesh ji and Srinivas ji. Last time also when I came, I got the opportunity to come and see the temple, offer my pranam to Sri Venkateshwara ji. And today also I was fortunate to see the eyes of the God, because most of the time it will be after the Abhishek, it will be closed. So if perhaps I couldn't see him, but he must have seen me. So that is naturally those who believe in the existence of God is a great thing for them. And in this modern age, it is Swami Vivekananda and his Guru Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. They advented, as you say, they came down as if they took the human form to establish Dharma. It's not that they were telling another system of Sri Ramakrishna cult, not like that. It's only the Dharma and Sanatana Dharma. And in the Sanatana Dharma, always we go back to the source, that is our Veda. And in the Veda they say that Brahman has created this whole universe. And after creation, he entered into this creation. Tad srishtva tadeva anupravishat. In the Kathopanishad says, Tad srishtva, Tad means this universe, srishtva, after creating, tadeva anupravishat, in that he entered. So that is the special. So all the time when we are asking who has created this universe, the science is trying to answer in a different way. And science is all the time searching out the external thing. So obviously they are coming to a decision, then changing again, coming to a decision, then changing again. So one after another, we have seen the great scientists, they discovered something. After a few years, the next one comes and they say, no, it is not. Why it is? Because the world is changing. So obviously, everything is changing. The decision that we make today, it may change sometime afterwards. But when you go inside and find out the spiritual truth, it never changes. That is the Sat, they say. The Satya or the Sat means it never changes. It is always there, constantly there. If we can understand it, it is our luck. It is our good fortune. If we cannot understand it, it's a misfortune. That's why, again the Kathopanishad says, Ihachet abhedi pata satyamasti. If you can realize God, if you can realize the truth, if you can understand your own self, in this very life, it's good, very good. Nachit iha abhedi mahati vinasti. If you cannot do that, it's a great loss. So these are the things that we should try to understand. Then human life, as we were discussing yesterday, the Saturday, and also in the evening of the Friday, we were having a discussion, a retreat on happiness. And there we were going on searching, so what is true happiness? And here we come to understand from the Veda, the knowledge that has been given again and again by the great souls, by the great minds. After a lot of discrimination, a lot of experimentation, they are coming into this conclusion. There is one truth, there is one Satya, there is one something that is never changing, and that you may call him as God. And This Vedantin, they call that as Brahman. And from the viewpoint of the Hindus, present the Hindus, now we are all known as the Hindus, they say there are three different names of the same entity. Those who are Vedantin, they call that same thing as Brahman. Those who are yogi, they call it as Atma. And the devotee, the bhaktas, they call the same thing as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, the Ishvara, the Atma and the Brahman are the same thing. Now for our sake, we always say that this is the Venkateshwara. We develop this conception, we develop this idea. And then Sri Ramachandra, then Sri Krishna. Like this, so many differences are there. Now, after that was created for the benefit of the people. So obviously, when we are thinking, why so many gods and goddesses? Many of the times, the American people will be coming to me in Chicago, and the only question they ask, because the Lemont Hindu temple is only 4 miles away from us, they come to that temple, it's a very famous temple, and then they come to Vedanta Society to ask only this question, why so many gods and goddesses? And who is the supreme God? In the Greek mythology, in the Greek philosophy, there is a supreme God, and who is our supreme God of the Hindus? And the third question, very interesting, why the gods and the goddesses are not fighting among themselves? How they can sit together? So these are the wonderful questions. So we know the answer. Why? Though I am totally dedicated at the feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, I also feel the same urge and devotion when I come at the feet of Sri Venkateshwara. When I go to a Rama temple, when I go to a Krishna temple, even when I go to a church, when I go to a mosque or the synagogue, the same devotion comes. Why? Because the same faith, from one everything has come. And according to the need of the people, He, the God, created Himself in a different way. And that is the special way of the Hindus. And that is why, because of this Catholicity, we were surviving. Now a time came in India when people got confused because of the modern education, so-called modern education. They were confusing them that everything that you till now believed are all wrong, and our people, they were thinking what to do and what not to do. When that was the condition, the situation was so grave. Those who know about the social condition of 16th, 17th, 18th century of the Indian peninsula, we know that total confusion. People, those who were poor people, they were living just like the animals. And the rich people, they were spending time to pacify and their rulers. Even our educated people, the scholars, they were imitating the Western scholars without understanding the depth of it, without understanding what it means. Now some of the words that has been used in the Veda, so that's called the go. Now go means the cloud, they meant in the Rig Veda. Now go means again the cow. So they thought that why they are talking about the cow suddenly. So that is a different type of, so we have to understand according to that. So that was when the situation was so great, the God Himself, He came in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And He brought with Him the power, His power, the God's power, that is Swami Vivekananda. So this Vivekananda, when he came, he got both knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna didn't call him. He knew when he was taking birth, everything he knew. When a star, bright star was coming down and to the Calcutta, Sri Ramakrishna, standing by on the bank of the Ganga, he observed it and he said, now he is coming, now he is coming. So he knew that power is coming, his power, and then he waited till 18, 19 years. Afterwards, he went to Calcutta, to that particular area where the Narendranath, he was born and was growing up. And he said, these are all apparently so simple. But afterwards, when we see the whole picture, it was all planned as if. And then he said, is there anyone who can sing a song for me? And they found no one except this young boy who was a very, very good singer. So they told, there is a person, there is a very holy person, respected man, will you please come and sing a song for him? This young man came and he told, okay, he never bothered about the religion or anything, just to sing the song. He came and he sang the wonderful song, very famous song, Monochala Nija Niketane. Oh my mind, let us go back to my own abode. And Sri Ramakrishna went into Samadhi. Young man, he saw with wonder how a person who was talking, laughing, behaving just normal way, suddenly went somewhere which is unfathomable. We cannot understand where he has gone. So that was the first experience of Narendranath. And Narendranath was searching for the truth. Is there really God? We talk about God, we go to the temple, we offer worship, but really there is God? And if the God is there, why can't we see Him? Why can't we talk to Him? Just like a scientist. Not yes, there is something, that something on do, I like to see, I like to touch, I like to talk, I like to feel, then only I will believe. So that was the way Narendranath was seeking, and he was going to all the religious people. Sir, have you seen God? Everyone say, no, not directly, but there must be some God. Then they could not say, yes, I have seen. But they say, no, there must be something, because Vedas say, Gita say, so and so. No. But have you seen God? No one said, no. So when he was almost losing the faith, suddenly someone told, why not that man in the Dakshineshwar? But that man, that Dakshineshwar person, the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was not having any education. He couldn't speak in English. He couldn't mix with the high society people. How can he realize God? Because the conception is the man should be highly educated, at least in Sanskrit or in scripture, and then only he can understand God. An ordinary person from the village without any background of education, can he realize God? Can he see God? Anyway, ultimately this young man went over there, he asked the same question, sir, have you seen God? As they say in English, pat came the reply, without any hesitation. Sri Ramakrishna gave the reply, I have seen him. And I also can arrange in such a way, train you in such a way, you can also see. You can also see, you can also talk. You need not to believe in my words. So that was the first time. And he was thinking, is it possible? And what is that God? Now, he was coming, he never believed in the images, because by that time, the intelligentsia, that educated people, educated society, they started disbelieving in the image worship. So obviously all over the India, if you see that time, they were cropping up different type of societies. They were trying to continue with the Hindu ideology, ideas, but without the image worship. The Brahma Samaj in Eastern India, then the Prarthana Samaj in the Western India, and Arya Samaj in Northern India, all that came, they were giving up image worship. Why? They could not give the answer. How the God, all-pervading God, can be in the images? But thousands of images are there. And Hindus, they have worshipped it for thousands of years. How suddenly they can forget that? So they were thinking what to do, what not to do. And our priests, they were worshipping, but they could not give the answer why they are worshipping. That they forgot the science. So naturally, at that time, Sri Ramakrishna started worshipping the Krishna and the Shiva and the Kali, and with great confidence. And whoever said, "Have you seen my mother?" he used to say. You go to my mother. And not only that, he will go and talk with the mother. One lady came and she was the Vairavi, and Sri Ramakrishna said, "Mother told she will come, and she has come to train me in some way of religion." And that lady, the Vairavi Brahmani, taught Sri Ramakrishna in how to practice a special way to reach God, and that is the what's called the Vedanta, Tantra, the Tantric way. The Tantric way he learned from him. Then came another monk, and Sri Ramakrishna, when he saw that monk, he went near him. The monk told, "Oh, I see you are a wonderful student. I like to teach you Vedanta, where there is no images, only that. Do you like to learn it?" "Okay, wait, let me go and take the permission from my mother." He couldn't understand what mother means. Then he saw he's going to the temple and talking with the stone image. "Mother, that person says he is here to teach me Vedanta. Shall I go to him?" Then afterwards, this gentleman, this monk, he couldn't hear what the mother replied, but he was very happy. "Oh, you said you have brought him for me? Okay." He came back. Now Totapuri, the great, that sannyasi, he thought, okay, this young man is good, but he has some peculiar notion about the stone image. Afterwards he understood it is not a stone image. God can manifest through that image too. He was making them understand. And that Vairavi Brahmani, she was not believing in Vedanta. She used to whisper, the Baba, she used to call that Sri Ramakrishna as Baba, means my son, don't go to that man. Your devotion, you will lose your devotion. Sri Ramakrishna told, why? The Vedanta also is a path. He was following the path of Vedanta. He was following the path of Tantra. He was following the path of the Vaishnava. From all paths he reached over there, and he told Narendranath, his best disciple, from any path you can reach to the same goal, and which is nothing but the consciousness. That was the training Vivekananda got, that everything nothing but consciousness. And when that directly he said to Vivekananda, you see this image of goddess Kali, and everything that you see, even the cat over there, the lady over there, and all the utensils that you see is nothing but the manifestation of the same consciousness. The young man, he started laughing. So all these things, the glass and the tumbler and everything, you say that it is consciousness, it is God. And he afterwards realized it is true. He touched him and he got that realization. Even then, this Vivekananda, that is the speciality of Narendranath. He touched me and I realized that. But even then, I should have to realize directly, I must try. He started practicing, going down to the deep meditation, concentration, and one day in the feet of Himalaya, when he was there in the Almora district, under a tree, he realized that. And with great joy he declared, my brother, I have now understood whatever is there in the whole universe, that same thing is there in me, within me. Microcosm and macrocosm, that knowledge he realized. And with that knowledge, he started traveling all over the India. Wanted to get the first-hand knowledge about the people, educated people, religious people, rich people, poor people, from the whole society he saw. And then he thought, no, it is impossible to bring them back to their confidences. So what is the contribution of Vivekananda? Once in the Belur Math, it was 4th July, Saturday, 1902, when Vivekananda gave up his body. That particular day, he, in the morning, he practiced meditation in the shrine, then came down and he was walking and he was saying to himself, soliloquizing, had there been another Vivekananda, he could understand what this Vivekananda has done. Because the work that he did, and within only 29 to 39, only within the 10 years, once only Shankaracharya, like that, as a within few years, he traveled all over the India, brought the Hindus in a wonderful way. He developed the system in the Hindus and the monks and the devotees. And next, afterwards, we find in Swami Vivekananda, he is going out and standing on the international the forum. He is bringing back the confidence in the minds of the millions of the Indians who lost confidence totally. They were never thinking that it is possible for the India to do anything. And that time Vivekananda came, he brought back that confidence. Jatiya Jagaran, as they call it, Jatiya Jagaran. And his success and electrified the whole India. People started thinking in a new way. That is true, we were having everything. How come that we are thinking that we don't have anything? That confidence. Then Swami Vivekananda said, self-confidence, self-confidence, self-confidence. It's not the ego, but the self-confidence. And that self-confidence came back to the millions. And then he first said, the freedom is the first condition of growth. I want freedom. Freedom for political freedom, and also the social freedom and spiritual freedom. In all respect, Vivekananda again. And then he gave a life in our literature. They were going on writing, and he gave a new life in the literature also. Speak in a different way, the language was changing, culture was changing. We thought the monks should wear only this type of dresses. He said it's nothing. The dress should not be counted, only the monastic vows. That is the main thing, giving up. What is the sannyasa? Samyak nyasa. That you must give. Then the services. The people used to think that if you go and serve the others, only the low type of people, they serve others. Here Vivekananda said, the sannyasins should go out and serve the people. And naturally revolutionize the whole society. The sannyasins going out and serving people. Through the traditions they were sitting only and receiving the pranam and the pranami and talking about God. That's all. And Vivekananda said, whoever will go and serve the poor will get mukti. He said to his two disciples, go and serve the people who are dying there in the Uttarkashi. And those days Uttarkashi was very isolated. Only monks used to go and practice severe austerities. But there is no medical facilities, so they used to die. There is special places there, they call Nildhara. When they suffer a lot, they cannot bear it, they go and sit in that water and slowly they die. Because it's so cold in that water, they sit and leave that body, the Nildhara. He told these two of his disciples, can you go and serve these people? Go and serve them and you will get mukti. Then one disciple, he said, you will become a Paramahamsa. Do not come back to this land. Forget everything. Wherever you are going, that place, that people, it is yours. Because the God is present over there. So whole idea was changing. Even today it is very difficult to accept Vivekananda's ideology. Why? It is so modern, so advanced, and so Vedantic. If you can see God by closing your eyes, can't you see God by opening? With open eyes, can't you see God? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that. So that was the main thing, seeing God in the living beings. And that is exactly what the Vedanta said. Ishavashyamidam sarvam yat kincha yagatyam jagat. This Ishavashya, the God, is pervading everywhere. If the God is pervading everywhere, is He not present in that person who is doing so-called low type of job, low type of work? Why you are hating, shunning him? This new thoughts came, and slowly, it is only 100 and 150 years, and now it is taking the shape. The educated people, they must understand. People must understand that this is the Dharma. The Dharma is self-confidence, and Dharma is seeing God, the divinity in each and every being. My philosophy can be said in 2 sentences. The Vivekananda said, to make each soul is potentially divine, he said. That is, again he said, to make people aware about their divinity and to help them to manifest it. That's nothing else. Make people aware about their divinity and to help them to manifest it. Friends, I was in Kashi, Benares. We were coming over here. I went over there to spend some time, some days over there. It's a very holy city. So one day, one gentleman gave me a bunch of $10 note, 10 rupees, and I think 1,000 rupees. So I don't know what I will do with this. So I went after bathing in the Ganga. I saw the people are sitting, some monks and some poor people, the beggars. So I started distributing 10 to them. This was a big line. And suddenly I noticed one cab driver. You know, in our country, the cab driver is also in a shabby dress. And he noticed that I am giving the 10 rupees. He got down from the cab, he came and sat in that same line. I noticed him there. And then when I reached to that, I just crossed him and give the rupee to other one. He said, Swamiji, how many he denge? Swamiji, won't you give me? I told my brother, you know how to drive the car. And these people, they have no other resources. So they have come down on the street. It's the lowest level. As a human being, you should live head high. That should be within you. You know how to drive the car. You are earning money. You rather help this type of people. Why you are here? It's a disgrace, disrespect for you. Immediately his face changed. He got up, offered pranam to me, and went and drove away. I saw the confidence has come back to him. I can do that. It is possible, Vivekananda's teaching. You can do this. You can. If you are not good in mathematics, if you are not good in the other subjects, you can sing something. You must be good. Try that. That's self-confidence. This is coming back. In many places, even the ordinary people, the wives, and nowadays they call the housemakers, they are spending their times and doing something, some good work. So slowly it is penetrating. People are feeling for the others, praying for the others. If you can't do anything, at least pray for them. Feel for them. Why? They are the manifestation of the same God. And feel confident. Then it is not only India. Each and every place. Vivekananda gave the Vedanta teaching over here in America. Why? And in India, he didn't speak about the Vedanta. He spoke about the services. the philanthropic services. Go and serve people. But here in America, he said, develop the divinity within you. Why? Because they were in advanced condition. They could understand. Even here, those who are from India and other places doing the same thing. Self-confident, free people. Now what they should do, only to understand that I have some divinity within me, I must manifest. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. Do this, but any way that you can, through meditation or selfless service, or through vichara, jnana or devotion. Either combine or any single one, but manifest your divinity. Now the question is, what is the divinity? We talk about divinity, we know that divine, what is that divinity actually? And that this is what Swami Vivekananda said, total unselfishness. Love without any expectation, and that is the divine thing. Service without any expectation, and that is the divine service. So what is the divinity? Manifest the divinity. What is the divinity? This attitude. Completely self-confident that I am not depending on anyone except God. But I will try to help others without any expectation. I will never expect that they will appreciate me. I will never expect the society will give me the honor for my services. I will never expect anything from anyone. But I will do because I love it. Because I believe that God is manifesting in every soul. That is the contribution of Swami Vivekananda. All alone he did. And he said it will take 1,500 years to manifest completely. So obviously the message that he has given, and he said because he saw the God, he realized God, he was transformed into Godhood, and then he said, I have a message, I, the Son of God, I have a message to give to the West, as Buddha had the message to give to the East. So this is the West only, the western part of the globe. They should, because materialistically they are more advanced. Now the spiritually, if they can develop, that will be excellent society, human society. Sometimes I really appreciate the people who are coming from Syria and the places from there. The whole of Europe, they have opened their gates to accommodate them. They are accepting them. Of course, there is a group of people, they are talking in a different way. But still, I saw in America, in Illinois, 5,000 Bhutanis, they say. Actually, they are Nepalis. They used to live in the Bhutan, and they were driven out from the Bhutan. And they were living now in the border of India and Bhutan. From there, in America has brought 50,000 of those refugees. And they have distributed. 5,000 has come in Illinois. And they have given that you can live over here, but that is the school, go and learn English. And those are the schools, you have to develop your capability over there. Then stand on your own feet. But that is the Vedanta. In India, we go on giving them the doles, giving them the help, and they all the time depend on us. When that person will come and bring food and will leave. Here it is not like that. So the group of Nepalis, they came to me and they told Swamiji, we were better over there, these people are not helping us. I told, who said they are not helping? Now you have to help yourself. Don't expect that they will come and give you food, give you water, give you this and that. You'll be sitting over there and idling your time. No, you have to help yourself. So that was the idea, self-confidence. And now those people, I told you know the agriculture, why don't you develop the wonderful and then sell it. They're developing. An article came in the Chicago Tribune. Those people, those Nepalis, now they're utilizing the land, they're producing the fruits and the vegetables, and they're selling it, earning money. Some people, they have learned the driving and mechanism. They, as a cab driver, they are engaged now. So they are depending on their own faith. So that is what Vivekananda, what is the contribution of Vivekananda? Why is telling like that? Millions and millions of peoples who lost the self-confidence, only one person, he gave that self-confidence. Because of that, India got freedom. India never could think that they will be free. But because of Swami Vivekananda, so it came back. All the great national leaders have accepted that. Raja Gopalachari, I will conclude by saying this, he said, but for him, but for Vivekananda, we would have lost our religion and would not have gained our freedom. It is the contribution of Vivekananda. So thank you, friends. Thank you for giving me a patience hearings. And I will request you all, please go through the books of Swami Vivekananda. At least Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Two wonderful lectures that he delivered. And he's delivered a lecture on the Vedanta. You will understand what true Hindu religion is when you see that, when you understand that Vedanta. So that is the great thing. Please read that. The lecture that was delivered in the Lahore, Advaita Vedanta, and the Vivekananda's lectures on Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, and another book where he expressed himself for the development of particularly India, that is the letters of Swami Vivekananda. All these books are available with the Vedanta Society over here. You can get those books. Please read. You read a lot. Read Vivekananda and read to yourself. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
A lot of things all together, and everything's going to be tied together, I hope. So is it okay? So there's going to be a basic theme to this whole thing. We're going to try to go through the different schools of philosophy. Now don't get nervous, it's not going to be too technical. But we have our Advaita, and this of course will be Shankara. Then we have our Vishishta Advaita, this is Ramanuja. And Dvaita, we won't get into too much. Madhva is the main proponent. Each one has different schools within it. There's a lot of variety and variation. Then we'll have our Shakta. That'll be tonight. And we're going to give this one to Ramakrishna, although they have their own scriptures and everything. Then I'm going to put Upanishads, just for fun, because each one will say that they represent the Upanishads. Nice. Okay. And we're going to give this one to Swamiji. And, okay. Now, I can erase things, huh? I was a school teacher one year.
Where what?
Huh?
Where?
Well, it was just, I was a teaching assistant for the first year Sanskrit students at the University of Pennsylvania. Okay. Now, we have a very interesting and simple way of trying to understand the three schools of philosophy, Vedanta, and all based on Tad Tvam Asi, and the case endings of Tat. Did anyone know this? Has anyone ever seen this before? Huh? That the dualists see this Tad and Tvam. Generally we say it's three separate words, Tad, Tvam, Asi, right? But they can make a compound out of this, Tad and Tvam, and then they'll break it down that the dualist will say Tasya Tvamasi. This is dualism. You belong to him. You are his. Okay? So genitive, Shashti. Then Tasmin Tvam Asi. You dwell within him. And then the others will simply leave it as Tat. You are him. So this is the easy way to understand that the dualist, it's a relationship that requires separate identification. So God is one, the devotee is one, but they're not really separate because we belong to God. These two will be the personal God. This will be the impersonal absolute, Tattvamasi. You are that. You are one. So these will be relationship, this will be identity. So this is a very kind of simple way. Now, we're talking about mother worship, but we're going to start out with Advaita Vedanta. Okay? There's a verse that says, Shloka Dhena Prakshami Yad Uttam Karanta Kotibhi. I will tell you in half a verse what is expressed in millions of scriptures. Okay? Bless you. Okay. Okay. Brahma Satyam. So this is the first truth of Advaita Vedanta, that Brahman is real and the only reality. Then, you got it? Mithya. That this visible universe is somehow false. Okay? And Jiva Brahma Eva Na Aparha. Jiva Brahma Eva Na Aparha. So Jiva, the individual soul, is Brahman alone and nothing else. So absolute perfect identity. Now, one of the themes of this weekend is going to be that we very often take it for granted that Shankaracharya's interpretation of Advaita Vedanta can be traced back directly to the Upanishads. But we'll find some very interesting things, that this term Mithya is never used for the universe.
In the Upanishads?
In the Upanishads, yeah. And we'll find that the idea of creation is found there in all different ways, sometimes allegorical. So Swami Vivekananda was very clear on this point, that the Upanishads present all different types of teachings, and that the dualists can find things that they like, qualified non-dualists and the non-dualists, of course. But he was against this idea of torturing the text, he used to say, so that each one will be made to show that their view alone is right. Now, in defense of the Acharyas, they had certain rules they had to follow. They had to show consistency throughout. So it wasn't easy for them to say, oh, this is a do, this is. So Shankaracharya came up with this theory of two different sets of truth, absolute and relative, paramarthika, vyavaharika, this kind of thing. Now, I can make this so. Brahma. Okay. Now, there's a song that many people know, that it's a Bengali song. It says, Ma achen or ami achi bhavna ki achi ama. Okay? So, let me say, Brahman, Ma, okay? Then, Jiva, so, Ma Achen, mother exists. Ami Achi, I exist. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. Then, Bhavna Ki Achi, then what do I have to worry about? Okay? So, Jagat, this will be the challenge to get to see how these two fit in together. But we'll see that Ma, mother, will take the place of Brahman, and we'll see the conceptions of Jiva that we have in both, and conception of this universe that we have. Okay, so these will be some of the main themes throughout, and throughout the weekend. And now we'll concentrate on this mother worship. So we look at Brahman. What do we mean by this term Brahman in Advaita Vedanta? It's a very restrictive term. According to Shankaracharya, the main meaning will be this Nirguna Brahman, pure consciousness, pure awareness, and it's being itself. It's not a particular being. We'll see with Ramanuja, he likes this idea. Well, if there's consciousness, there has to be something that's conscious, right? But for Shankaracharya, consciousness is absolute. So this is pure consciousness, and it doesn't do anything. This is the first problem we have when we come to try and explain how this universe comes into existence. If we say that Brahman alone is the reality, we're trying to start with this precondition that we only have one thing we can use. We can't have a lumber yard on this side and the carpenter here, and we can engage him and he can build a house with the lumber. There's no instrumental cause, there's no material cause, there's only Brahman. Brahman has to be everything, but Brahman can't do anything. Right? So this is the main problem. So the Brahman is very pure consciousness, Nirguna Brahman. Now the Upanishads, of course, they have no problem with explaining how this Nirguna Brahman also can have Shakti powers and can think and can behave almost like a person. Of course, it's allegorical, but we'll have verses in the Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, for example, other Upanishads that says Brahman got lonely, he got bored. He was sitting around, he didn't see anybody else, so he thought, let me create something. And then as soon as he thought that, it happened. So this is the power of thought. It's not that Brahman had to make plans and hire somebody and find materials or anything. Yeah, just the mere thought. Just the way a dream universe comes into existence. It's only the only materials that the dreamer has is the consciousness of the dreamer to weave the dream, right? Then enter into the dream. This is typical Upanishadic thinking, that this Brahman will project this universe, then enter into this universe, dwell within the hearts of each and every being, forgetting that he's really Brahman, thinking that he's an individual, each and every one of us, and we have to try to get back to realize our real nature as a Brahman. So, this pure consciousness, we have Satchidananda, existence, knowledge, bliss, and this will be another big difference between Ramanuja and Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya will say these aren't attributes of Brahman. This is the essence of what consciousness means. Consciousness means awareness. Consciousness means existence. When I say that I exist, I don't mean I exist as a physical person. Right? If I die, the body is still here. If I say I exist, it means that I exist. My existence and consciousness are one and the same. And when we realize this pure consciousness, it's a blissful experience. So there's ananda comes into that. Now, Ramanuja will say that these three things are all attributes of Brahman. That Brahman does have qualities. So we have this substance attribute relationship. Just as a table has to have shape and form and color, so Brahman also has these attributes, Satchidananda, and we'll see that the universe and living beings also will be considered the attributes of Brahman. Then Jagat. Jagat literally means that which is moving. From gam, to go. So that which is constantly moving in a state of flux. We have our samsara, this idea that transitory, unstable, impermanent. Now when we get to Sri Ramakrishna, we'll see that very often he'll say Brahman alone is real and this universe is anitya. He won't say mithya. Only on a very rare occasion, if he's talking to someone, he'll say, "Oh, you're a jnani. You'll like this story," something like that. Otherwise, he'll always say transitory. So there's a slightly different way of looking at it. We can accept the reality of this world, but also we see that it's constantly changing. That it's in a constant state of flux. That there's nothing that lasts more than a moment. It's momentary. That way, everything is constantly changing. We see these kids, how small they were last year, how big they are now. And they will keep changing, and the whole universe will be gone in a flash. Nimeshat. They say that in the blink of an eye. Kala kriyadati gacchati ayu. That time is playing, but life is going. Yeah. Kala kriyadati. This is from Bhaja Govinda. Shankaracharya's beautiful, fantastic hymn. If we have it here, we can read some of that also, I was thinking. Okay, so what Advaita Vedanta will say is that this universe has no independent material existence, that it's an appearance of Brahman. Now, Sri Ramakrishna very, very often will say that Brahman has become all this. The Advaitins don't like that kind of language. They'll say Brahman is appearing to be all this, because Brahman can't undergo any change. These are subtle points. I'll try to show at the very end of this retreat that none of these things are very important. But they're helpful in a certain way, but we shouldn't think that we'll decide that, oh, this one is right and that one is wrong. It's not like that. These are all different viewpoints, different ways that we have of trying to understand something which is beyond understanding. Okay, so this idea, this mityata, the falseness of the universe, for Shankaracharya it's something quite real. And of course we have the illustration of the snake and the rope. That we're walking down the road at night and there's a rope